It's your boy Carcito here. Don't forget to donate to the Cash App, subscribe to the page, hit the like button, all those wonderful things. They doing a whole lot of nonsense behind the scenes to try to stop y'all from seeing the videos. It's crazy. But right now, let's get into this. This is what y'all need to be talking about because it's hilarious. Benzino and 50 Cent once again is right back at this situation. Where Benzino is livid. Now he's ready to fight yet again. Oh man, like this dude is like in his 60s, man. He want to fight 50. Because 50 was like, you snitched, like dog, you snitched on your nephew, so Benzino wanted to clarify that as he played the audio and everything, and in fifth fashion, what he gonna do. Shout out to Panda Chop TV for doing the edit. Uh, Man, it was incredible listening to how this breaks down because these two were actually cool. It was only until 50 Cent and Eminem, Eminem got a problem with Benzino with the source. Did 50 ever have a problem with Benzino? Because he never did before. So he had did an interview with the source. And then right after that, the issues really hit. And then it was, of course, Fifth had to choose a side. And he was all the way in. Like, all right, well, F Benzino. And Benzino was the guy that looked out for him. So, it was a weird situation for Fifth. But it was like, look, the Ja situation that he had, Eminem adopted that beef. So he adopted the Benzino beef. And there it was. But beforehand, Viv had no problems with Benzino. Like Benzino was looking out for him. That's real talk. So yeah, Benzino went to his mother's funeral and he got blamed up and the whole situation. And Viv, they all talked.
He identified.
And then he identified his nephew and then they released the audio tape of him doing that.
It's the thing. He rolled his window down to put his gun on. He shot.
You saw him?
Seen him. I just was surprised. I seen it. Next thing you know, gunshots. That was it.
Okay, you didn't intentionally pull up next to his car or anything?
Potentially. I just was going through the procession. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no gun on me. I didn't have any gun. There was no gun. He had a gun.
Right.
Shit. Obvious.
When you say he, who was that?
Guy.
All right. Thank you for clarifying those last couple points. I'm going to end the recording. And you understand each time we've talked that you've been on the tape, and so forth, and it's a tape statement. You understand that? Okay.
There were also the court transcripts where he was summoned to testify.
Yeah, he was summoned to testify in court. Let me show you that. And as you can see it right there, he said, I know Gal shot. Got shot. He said, God shot you. Yup. He said, did you tell that to the Commonwealth? Tell the Commonwealth that? I don't remember. So all of this was being exposed to show the fact that he was snitching. He didn't like that. All these things is coming up. And then 50 said, you want me to believe Omar was a stoolie because Sosa said so? That's a Scarface reference in case you don't know. Yes, if I said he ain't right, he ain't right. If Bill started, that's just it. 50 Cent, this is your paperwork. What's wrong with your man? What's wrong with you, man? Like, this is your paperwork, the audio. They was like, man, roll this clip. So Benzino comes out all chiseled up and everything, muscles out, and he's coming to talk. Tell his side of the story.
Then, at the Hit Factory, Murder Inc. thumps up on him and Tony Yayo, and he makes statements, which is who got blammed up 9 times. Who got blammed up 9 times and didn't do shit about it. Then, at the Hit Factory, Murder Inc. thumps up on him and Tony Yayo, and he makes statements, which is his signature, made statements about what happened. Now, with me talking about this, I want a lot of people to realize, and a lot of the younger guys to listen to what I'm saying. Me, I got a big heart. You know, a lot of things that I've done for people were my own fault because I ended up doing shit for the wrong people. These motherfuckers would just walk over my dead body, step on me if they had a chance, right? In the situation with my nephew and Curtis, it's like they're kind of alike. Like I helped both of them, and then years later they kind of stabbed me in the back. First with Curtis. We'll start with Curtis since he likes posting things. You know what I'm saying? When he was at the Hit Factory, and I've told the story before, but it kind of means something now, right? Curtis ran down to my studio session not even a half a block down. And I actually helped his ass. He showed me where he got poked up. And I actually helped him and sent him on his way to the hospital, called him a car service. Because he didn't have any money, I don't think, on. How else was he going to get to the hospital? He showed me where he got poked up. He showed me the gun that Tony Yayo dropped with when Black Child lumped him up with no bullets in it. Me, the big heart that I have, the cancer in me, said, come on, you know what? Let me help you out. And I helped him out. And now years later, he keeps trying to, what a lot of people been trying to put a stain on my name and on my reputation. And you can't do it. The transgender thing didn't work. The gay shit didn't work. None of that works. I'm not gay. I've never been gay. I never even met that transgender. Never was even in the same room. We shot a movie together. The director gave the transgender my number. They edited the conversations. Never even hooked up. Never seen nothing. I have a history of dealing with beautiful women my entire life. The woman I'm with now is amazingly beautiful. But that's a different story. Nick like Curtis, he seemed like a Nick that always been insecure, not always that Nick on the side looking like at the other niggas who be getting the bitches. See, I didn't grow up the big, tough, thug gangster nigga. I was a fly hustler nigga. But if you fucked with me, I'd take your head off. But I wasn't out there bullying people. And I ran with a big crew that still fuck with me today. Free my brother Porky, free Trev, free Hood Boss. So I don't, that street shit, I did it all. So I don't worry about that. I'm 60 years old now. It's supposed to be a new path. But this nigga keeps posting stupid shit about me, and I'm like, what's his a Nick that actually helps you out? This is how you treat him? Because like I said, we can get in the ring and I'll beat your ass, Curtis. Yeah, me and you could get in the ring for that money. 3 rounds. I'll whoop you. You big and sloppy and too stiff. And I don't believe all that Golden Glove shit. Right, we're going to put that to the side. Mayweather, holler at me. Believe me. I'll be his Huckleberry. All right. We're going to talk about my nephew now. We're going to talk about this snitch thing and my nephew and Benzino's a snitch. And when I went and did the podcast in Boston, there was some young guys. I said, let me help them out. And they bring that up and they try to manipulate a story. My nephew was my first nephew, 2 sisters. We had different fathers, which plays into play later on, I'm gonna tell you. I always kept the story quiet. I was filming Love and Hip Hop when he shot me. But now, since it's an issue about me snitching, then I have to protect my name and my reputation. So again, I raised my nephew. His pops wasn't around. I raised my nephew. My sisters, when I was with the Source and I had all that money, I was giving thousands and thousands of dollars. Okay. Later on in life, my mom, me and my sister, this was before the Source magazine money. Me and my sister went half on a house that was supposed to be her and my mother's, my older sister. Okay. Now the house was a big house in Dorchester, right? At the time, probably worth about $180,000. I think I might have put up 20. She put up 20 or 10 or something and got the house. My mother had a 3rd floor apartment, little small apartment, while her guy, my nephew, her daughter, they lived downstairs, big house. My mother, it was a lot of stairs on the 3rd floor. My mother's older, beautiful woman from Cape Verde. I miss you, Mary. I miss her every day. My best friend. I was the only son, the only child from her and my father. So, of course, I'm filming Love and Hip Hop. And, again, all the years I've done nothing but took care of my family. I had the money to do it. There was never no beef with my nephew. Years later, come to find out that, let me go here. I had to buy my mother her own house because, again, that 3rd floor apartment and her climbing up them stairs was too much. So I bought her own house in Milton, Massachusetts. bought her a Benz. She didn't like to drive. She was older, but she was happy with a house. My mother started getting dementia. So it was a thing where my sister wanted to take care of her. I didn't live in Boston anymore, so she moved back with my sister at the other house. Well, they was going back and forth, but the house was still in Milton. Come to find out that my nephew Guy had been, and my sister was taking out loans on the house in lines of credit. My mother didn't do nothing because she was suffering from dementia. My father had found out, words were exchanged. It wasn't nothing like I was going to do anything to my nephew or something. It was just a fucked up situation that happened. Like, how could they take out loans on my mother's spot, especially the one that my money went into, and she never knew nothing. Okay, I'm filming Love and Hip Hop. All of a sudden, my mother dies. She dies in her sleep. Now, my mother worked at Prudential Insurance Company all her life. I was actually in her stomach when she was working at the Prudential in Boston. When she died, there was no money for me. Not that I wanted, but it was only for my sister. Imagine that. Her only son, but it was only for her sister, for my sister. Okay. Can't prove nothing. But we do know that they took lines of credit and loans out and forged their signature. We do know that. So I guess the guilty conscience must have been eating them up. And when she died and I was coming up there to the wake, he must have thought that I was going to make a move on him. Now, I knew that there was tension. So when I got up to Boston, we was filming Love and Hip Hop. When I got to Boston, I didn't want to be at the wake with everybody. So I suggested that I go an hour earlier to see my mother with just me and her. I didn't want to see her like that, so I hadn't closed the casket. I was pretty shaken up. They took out a bunch of loans on the house, found out. When I got to the wake, I went by myself, seen my mom, closed casket. I made a decision I wasn't going to go to the funeral because of the tension. I seen her and we was filming and I was going to go back because I didn't want the rest of the family and everybody else, all this shit, all this drama to overshadow my mother's funeral. She was being buried in Plymouth. I made the decision not to go. As I'm getting ready to get on the plane the next day, which was going to be my mother's funeral, it was a Sunday, Stevie J called me. Shout out to Sleezo. Hope you're all right, my G. Ain't talked to you in a minute. So Sleezo calls me and says, hey, I'm out here in Plymouth. Where you at? I'm like, man, I'm not going out there, bro. He's like, oh, man, I'm way out here. Plymouth is like 45 minutes from Boston. I said, stay there. I'm going to come get you. I jump in a rental. Now, mind you, I have no reason to be strapped. Sunday afternoon, 12 o'clock. I'm not thinking about nothing. I ain't got no beef in Boston. Jump in a rental. I start heading out towards Route 3. Route 3 goes to the Cape. It's it's a 2-lane. It's a super conservative white highway. A lot of people live down the Cape of White. You know what I'm saying? It's like the suburbs. As I'm going down there, I noticed there's a funeral procession. The cars flashing lights and everything. So I'm like, oh, shit, I wonder if this, sure enough, it was my mother's. Seen a bunch of light-skinned Cape Verdean people. I was like, yeah, I'm on the left lane. The funeral procession's on the right going slow. I'm driving on the left. Next thing you know, bop, 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 bop. I'm getting hit. I got hit 3 times in my shoulder. I felt them, but I'm still driving. I did a 180. A fishtail 180, started driving back against the traffic. I couldn't drive no more because my arm kind of felt limp. I kept breathing and feeling my chest because I've been shot before. I wanted to make sure that, nothing hit my chest. Once I knew that my breathing was good and everything, I jumped out that bitch and started running. As I'm running, I run towards the hearse. And this is a true story. I know it sounds crazy, but I swear on my mother's soul this shit happened. I can't even believe it happened. As I run, I go towards the hearse, and all I seen, because it has the old school locks, I just seen the finger pressed down on the lock of the front of the hearse, because there was 2 hearses. Of course, one had my mother's coffin, it had to. So then I ran down a couple other cars, and then 2 of my cousins, Auntie Geneva, God rest her soul, I jumped in the back of their car, they're screaming like a motherfucker. I said, you got to drive over the medium, get me out of here, because, I'm losing a lot of blood. They drove over the medium, and we're going down here. Now, at that time, my nephew never been locked up. Never had he wasn't a street kid. I raised him. He was a DJ. Man, I raised him. You could see in videos. I was proud. That was my first nephew. I loved him to death. My nephew was the first one to call police. He was the first one to get on the phone and said, I just shot a man, because come to find out he had 3 guns and he had licenses for all of them. I didn't even know he had licenses. He called the police first, all right? This is the shit that nobody said. This is the shit that these niggas at the podcast, everybody just wants to try to get a story, clicks and comments, and trying to stain somebody's name. Don't even know what the fuck they talking about. He called the police first. The very first one to call police. Now, mind you, this is about 1 o'clock broad daylight. Cars, 100 people seen him shoot me. Everybody's seen. He told the police that I had a gun, and I pointed it at him, that I'm Benzino. Now in Boston, I got a bad reputation. The police been trying to fuck me over for years. My whole family, my father, my brother, it is what it is. Racist city. You know what I'm saying? I love my people. I love the the hood, but the power structure, I can't fuck with them. Man, I love the sports teams, which, by the way, the Celtics will beat the shit out the Knicks tonight. But let's get back on point. He called the police first and said I had a gun.
Yeah.
When we finally get off the exit, I'm bleeding like a motherfucker, getting ready to pass out, blood all in the back of the car. The police pull us over, state troopers, as soon as we get off the exit. I think it was the Pembroke exit. They took me out the back of the car and stripped me butt naked, dick out and everything. Butt naked, bleeding butt naked. They said, where's the gun? 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 I think that it was Driscoll. Now, Driscoll's whole family, if y'all know the Driscolls up in Boston, y'all know them some dirty motherfuckers. All right. He said, yeah, your nephew said you had a gun. Your nephew said that you were shooting at him. Your nephew said this. And I said, no, he shot me. So what the fuck are you talking about? He said, because like, at this point, it's just a lot of chaos. They're screaming, yelling, where's the gun? Your nephew. I said, no, he shot me. I said, I mean, it's broad daylight. And plus, like, I've been around enough to know that whatever you say right then and there that don't matter when it comes to snitching. It matters in the grand jury and in the courtroom. So now, the ambulance came. I get in the ambulance. They're still asking me, where's the gun? Where's the gun? Where's the gun? He said that you shot him. Where's the gun? So at that point now, I get to the hospital. That's when Love and Hip Hop cameras. I had a connection in there at the hospital. You know, it's Boston, but I'm in Quincy Hospital. So they came, they were shooting and everything. More detectives came. They said, look, you know what I'm saying? You know, he called. He said you had a gun. That's the reason he shot you and everything. So really, how the fuck could I snitch when he was the first one that called them and said that the first one, before any statement that I made anything, he said he shot me. Let's make that clear. All right, months go by. It's time for the grand jury. Now the grand jury is going to be the jury that got picked to see that if he's going to get charged with attempted murder. In Boston, anything over the waist, attempted murder. Anything below the waist, assault with a dangerous weapon. Above the waist is 15 years and up. Everybody knows that. We get to the grand jury. They ask me, do you know who? I said, nah, I don't know who shot me. Now that's in the paperwork. The grand jury, you can go get the paperwork. They said, nah, I don't. I said, I don't know who shot me. I said, I was dizzy. I was up, but you said this. I said, I don't know what I was saying. I was panicking. I was blanking out. I was saying anything. I was in an ambulance. I said anything. I was in the hospital. I was under medication. I was saying anything. They said, okay, fine. Months now go down. It's time to go to court. They tell me they tell my lawyer, God rest Mr. Lepo. They said he has to come in court. I said, I'm not coming no court. I already told the grand jury I don't know who shot me. If you don't come to court, we're going to give you 6 months contempt. Ain't this a bitch? I said, okay. Me, my father went to court in Brockton. My nephew was sitting there with his lawyer, big fat bitch. They're looking at me like, it's funny because they said, if you can see who's in the courtroom, point them out. I said, I don't see anybody. If you can see who shot you, point them out. I said, I don't see anybody. It was that simple when I left. There was another 10 witnesses that were white people and everything that were on the highway that witnessed him shooting me. Because I said that he didn't shoot me, he got 18 months for shooting in a dwelling around people. That's what he got charged with. If I would have said he shot me, he would have did 15 years. 15 years. So I don't give a fuck about no internet. I'm solid. 50 Cent, your pussy. My nephew, your pussy. And if any motherfucker, and if there's any real issues, I'm not hard to find. But that's a fact. What I just said was fact. We don't gotta, and the paperwork's out there. So I don't want to hear about no snitching shit. I don't want to hear it. And guess what? A lot of you motherfuckers out there with the snitching shit, you know, snitching was the first snitching thing that I heard of. Of course, my dad told me at 11 years old, but he was dealing with the mob. So the mob was the first one to really kind of popularize don't snitch. Because back then, if you snitch, you was getting killed. But I think when Sammy the Bull, I think after that, and even Whitey Bulger, when they seeing that the snitches are the actual ones killing all the people, I think people started saying, damn, ain't nobody killed Sammy the Bull. Whitey finally got it, but it's like back then, if you snitch, you got dealt with. Nowadays, y'all motherfuckers are exposing snitches and y'all ain't even doing shit. Okay, they snitches. Now what y'all gonna do about it? Nothing. It's just for clicks and comments. It doesn't change their life. 6ix9ine's richer than he's ever been. Still, ain't nobody did nothing other than the LA Fitness shit. All you niggas out there who was so much snitch this, snitch that, when y'all find out they're snitches, then why don't y'all go down and handle business? Y'all ain't gonna do shit. But see, yeah, my name and reputation means something to me. So that's why I had to tell the story. It's a beautiful day today, man. Much love. I'm 60. I'm not gonna be, I got a 9-year-old. I got grandkids on the way. I'm not gonna be the same person that I was back then. But ain't none of you niggas gonna fuck with me. And I ain't no crash out nigga. I'm very smart. That's why I lasted this long. But like I said, 50, if you want to get in that ring, celebrity, I'm with it. And then after that, man, we can hug it out and let this shit be over with. But all that shit you post on me, sorry, dickhead, that shit ain't true. Y'all figure it out. Celtics, tonight, we beating the shit out of y'all.
Yeah! Yeah! That's the best part of the video. Now, of course, he boasted all day. What else he supposed to say, right? Boston all day. So as you can see, Benzino wasn't just crashing out. He was telling people exactly how it was, you know? And sometimes these younger folks, I've seen that happen. Unfortunately, I've seen that happen at a lower level. A lot of people went and got credit cards in Big Ma's name. They went and got a loan in Big Ma's name. They went and did a whole lot. Okay, my boy was like this tight, and I said, "Dog, I don't know about trusting him." You know what I'm saying? Like, dude is like bad crazy when it comes to like bets and gambling. Like, you think I got a gambling problem? Shoot, that dude got to gamble every 10 minutes. I can stop whenever I want, for real. Like, it ain't like I got a Jones for it. Like, I gotta go. I just be bored. Be like, all right. If I got bills and stuff to pay, I'm gonna definitely pay my bills. There ain't no conflict there. So this dude wasn't paying no bills. He owed the world, and he came up with a bright idea that if I bet on this game and I hit, then I'm gonna make sure everybody's right. I'm gonna make sure everybody in the family's straight. Man, this dude won $18,000 on a bet. He did. He hit, and this way before sports betting. He was like legal sports betting. He was working through a bookie, and he got 18 grand, and the bookie gave him his 18 grand. And he was like, the bookie said, I know this guy. He won 18 grand. You're gonna turn around and lose about 30 in about the next 3-4 days. I'm like, get out of here. I know this guy. Trust me, he's gonna be back. Not gonna make a payment. And he did not make any payments to the people he owed. He gave like he's supposed to pay off the credit card. He didn't do that. That was only like uh 3,000 or something he owed on the credit card. He didn't pay that. No, he paid on it. Now let me give you that. He did pay on it. He put like $300 down on the card. And then he was like, I'm gonna pay it off to down to zero. But he did put $300 on the card. And the loan that he took, I think he made a payment, but he didn't pay it off. And that was it. He lost the 18,000 all back to gambling. And Big Mom was in debt. And she was 87, I believe. She was 87 years old. And she still was able, getting up. You come over, anybody come over, she get up, start ready to cook. You want me to fix you something, baby? I'm like, no, I'm good, Big Mom. I'm good. But everybody else, Big Mom was the woman. You know what I'm saying? Like she took care of everybody. She made sure everything was straight. So for for Benzino, I understood. You know, I understand what he mean and what he going through in that instance. You know, being there for Big Ma is huge because not who else gonna do it? But Fifth is crazy. Fifth is crazy, dog. I mean, for real, that dude is he's X Five. So when you start thinking the best of the best, or the best to ever do it, Fifth is the best at mind screwing everybody over. Like that guy is something else. Sorry about that, but yeah, that's not the first time though. Benzino been trying to fight Fifth for the longest. Like he called out 50 Cent for a fight. It seems like every week. Mm-hmm. Well, when you start thinking about 50 Cent and Benzino and what they've done throughout history, uh, it don't surprise me. He felt betrayed by 50, but what is 50 Cent supposed to do? He's supposed to go against who he's known his entire career and back you. He ain't gonna do that. See, when
Guaranteed we gonna go into World War III. It ain't no question.
when you got people in place that's gonna do what they supposed to do, then that's what you want on the marquee. Now, what has transpired and happened after that? That's the next step.
We're here with Benzino, the one and only. Yeah. He's the real legend, and we're excited.
Now,
to phone my man Bitcoin. We're here.
Benzino went and signed a fight contract. I swear to God, look, this dude signed a fight contract to fight 50 Cent.
We're with Benzino, the one and only. Yeah. He's the real legend, and we're excited. Scout the phone, my man Bitcoin.
Oh shit! What is that?
Rodney and Bitcoin Rodney told me to come over to sign.
Shout out to Bitcoin Rodney. What up?
It's 50. You're talking all this
stuff.
Yeah. Benzino wants to step in the ring.
Let's throw goes right there. You know what I'm saying? Listen, man, you want to be a man about things, man, step in the ring, because that's where men sell their differences. Fuck all that internet shit. Step in the ring. You know what I'm saying? Mano y mano. All right?
Right here, the contract's going to be signed.
Let's go.
There it is. Professional celebrity boxing, Bitcoin Rodney, and
what we doing? What we doing?
Benzino's ready. 50.
What we doing?
He has signed.
What we doing?
Let's go 50.
Yeah. The Zista. Let's go.
11.
Let's go.
Florida.
Let's go.
We're here with Ben.
So, as you can see right away, Benzino once again is ready for action. He's ready to throw them hands. And that's where it gets crazy. Like, you 60, dog. Throwing punches like that will get you knocked out. Street fighting and fighting for real is entirely different. Once again, knew a friend, right? Went for Chicago Golden Gloves boxing. But he gang banged on the side. He actually been in the gym, actually was training. He didn't win Golden Gloves. He fought in the Golden Gloves. He went down to Nationals and he lost. But, that's because, he's too busy caught into the street life. You know what I'm saying? The street life and boxing is two different worlds. So a lot of people losing their friends out here because of that. And he was balancing two different lives. And everybody's like, man, this is a sweet, innocent kid. He's boxing. He's one of the best in the world. But he was a havoc on the streets, hanging out with the wrong people. So they came through to get one him, but somebody else. And, they came there, put their hands on somebody, and one of his friends got poked up. So they wanted to have a boxing match, and dude was a street fighter, and he's known for, beating down people. But that guy only fight in groups. He fight with 10 of his homies throwing punches, and he thought he was a tough guy, but he never really fought nobody on his own one-on-one, head up. So he was the one they chose to, have this one-on-one where you pick a guy to fight and they pick a guy to fight to try to end this beef, so it don't enter this world of everybody shooting each other. So they get in there, they throw their hands, and truth be told, dude get dropped a couple times, keep getting up, pop pop, he go back down, and get back up, pop pop, he down again. So it was a repetitive motion of defeat. So it was very telling what was going on. His street fighting tactics, he could not deal with a guy who knew how to box. And he lost bad. I mean, nose is bleeding, eyes messed up, dude was hating him. Because dude used to fight the national. You know what I'm saying? Dude got a ticket. Like his amateur ticket. You gotta take it everywhere you go. So you gotta punch your ticket, your card, whatever. So I'm like, dude, this like really shouldn't be fighting in the streets. So he lost so bad, got dropped by a jab, everything, right? So people laugh like, oh, you thought you could fight. We would have picked somebody else. So he embarrassed. So now you want to kill the dude. You know what I'm saying? So it's like he want to sneak and try to kill the guy. And that's the problem that happens. Yeah, he actually did kill the boxer. He came back, snuck and killed him, waited till he was in the car with his girl. His girl got shot, he got killed. So, it's a sad situation. So this is what I'm saying though. These celebrity boxes, it's okay if 50 go ahead and do that. But the reality, you know what I'm saying, it's just that people gotta learn that this ain't a game. And you can get hurt really bad out here doing this kind of activity. And plus it's childish. You know what I'm saying? It's like, dog, you sick. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's time everybody grow up. You explain the situation, that's cool. As a man, you explained it. Ain't nothing else to talk about. You explained yourself, that's that. Dude was in jail behind his own actions. So I can't blame Phil for that. You can't blame Phil for what another I mean, not Phil, but Benzino. I can't blame Benzino for his nephew. Because he could have gave his nephew 15 years. But everybody like to play internet games and play the victim. Well, I got ratted on. You ratted on me too. You know, they love that because it makes them sound tough, make them sound street, bring some credibility to them. So it is what it is. But I'm out of here.